Alrighty guys, on to the stern. So we are going to unravel about 2 arms lengths. There's 1 arm, again, not your entire wingspan. Then we are going to tie our stopper knot. By now, hopefully you've tied enough stopper knots so you can pretty much tie this with your eyes closed. Cut off your tail. Alrighty, and you're going to feed this through. We're going to feed this, doesn't matter which hole you feed it through, as long as it's one of these 2 back holes. These guys. Alrighty. There you go. Let me get this back on this side. So you bring this out, and now you're going to tie an overhand knot. I'll try to tie one as best I can so that you can see it. Alrighty. So, over, a little bit more cord. Over. And under. If you can cinch this down as close to your stopper knot, again, of course, that's the best, but no big deal if you can't. Because watch this. You're just going to pull this out, keep your keel pinched into place, or just push down on it. Sorry, not your keel, your stem. And then you can just wiggle this back and forth, and it'll slowly close down on itself. You go slow, that way you know it doesn't rub back and forth on the wood and fray and get damaged. And then what you can do is just pull this, and it'll kind of just go right into that hole. That way it won't show through on your skin, you know. It's a nice way to hide a knot. And then you just wrap. So always go straight down from the hole. Do not crisscross. You don't want that, because when you do that, you don't have anything to, when you close it off, you don't have anything to cinch together to add tension to your lashing. So just bring it through. And while you're doing this, you're going to want to get that stem into position as best as possible, centered on your keel. Doesn't have to be perfect yet, because you know this is just basically this is functioning like a clamp for you at this point. So you're just gonna come over to the next hole. You've done 1 wrap around here, and you'll do 1 wrap around on this side. Always wrapping down, and you come back up here, slide that through. Alright. Cool. And then, so what you're going to do after this is you want to bring your line that you just put through here, or here, depending on where you started. Could have gone through that hole or that hole. Regardless, you're going to take the line and you're going to feed it through the other hole on your stem, not your keel, because if you feed it through on your keel, then you're going to have pressure pushing it that way, fighting the pressure that this is going to be putting on, pushing it back against the keel. So thread it through the hole on your keel. This is where the needle might come in, because this is a pretty small hole, a little pinhole, if you've decided to do it this way. Again, this is not necessary, but it is a good step to get these to line up tightly. Once everything's wrapped, your kayak, your gunnels are strapped in, your chines are strapped in, and this kayak is wrapped, it's not ever going to move forward. So again, not absolutely necessary, but might be good practice. So if you are using your needle, you're going to want to make sure you're keeping your line back like this. That way you can thread the needle through the hole without stabbing through your cord. Because right here, you know, you're going to keep it kind of slack for a little bit, and then you'll pull back to tighten everything up. Do never pull on this line coming out. Don't pull on that, because this is going into the grain and it's essentially running with the grain. So if you pull on this line, you're just going to damage the wood. It's also why I don't like doing this. I feel that if you do go this route, you should probably insert something here so that the line's not just going to be biting into the grain. But since I didn't do that, and I don't typically run these lashings in any of the boats that I've built so far, I'm not going to incorporate any tube. But what I would recommend is, like, you can get a brass tube at the hardware store. I would just either that or drill maybe like a 1/4-inch hole, and you can get one of those like, I don't know what they're called. It's almost like a rivet. Might even be called a rivet for like clothing. That's an eye. I can't remember what they're called. So if you've ever worn like Converse shoes, those little eyelets, you can just shove it in there, and that way you'll have something nice and round, not thin. And it also might help to ease up on some of the damage the wood might do, because it'll have a little rounded metal edge. Alright, one more time, right? Yep, that was 2. One more. This side, or this part, it's gonna overlap, but again, it shouldn't really show through this in the skin at all because of where it's placed. And then if you don't do it at all, then you don't have to worry about it, because it's not really, in my personal opinion, it's not a necessary step. And if other people feel that it is, then, you know, that's fine. Agree to disagree. Alright, so that's in there. That's nice and tight. We're going to just move right back here and finish this lashing off the back end of the stem. Again, when you do any pulling against the stem, make sure that you're applying negative pressure on the other end, or on the other side, so that you don't just rip that off the keel, damage your line and all your progress. One there, and then you move over. Back. Come back around. Yeah. So if you're not familiar, what I mean by negative pressure, so I'm pulling towards the camera, put my other hand here and push in the opposite direction. And there. Alternately, you can pull down, and that'll work too. Also help tighten everything up and pull it down more, so, you know, clamping pressure there. And then we got one, oh no, we got 2 more each. Well, 1 more each, sorry, 1 more each. I don't know if I have enough. Do I have enough line? Wow. Again, you don't want to be pulling up or against the keel, so whenever you do pull these together to tighten everything up, make sure you're doing it against the stem, not the keel. Just pull down. You watch everything cinch up as you apply tension. You don't need to overdo it. It just causes excess damage that isn't necessary. Yeah, so I guess I misjudged this, or probably because I came from this hole up to this hole. I don't have a whole lot of line to work with, so this is going to be a little difficult at the end right here, but I'll get it done for you guys. Alright, so I'm just going to pull this down, make sure everything's nice and tight. You can kind of massage the lines too, it'll help them slide along their path. And if you do find that something when you massage it is really loose and it's not tightening up, then you're going to have to unravel a little bit, figure that out and tighten it up. But this part will also help. So like I pointed out earlier in the first part of this video, the wax, or maybe another video, the wax will help keep it from unraveling. So I can let it go and not have to worry about everything loosening up while I prepare for this part here. So I gotta put the screwdriver in behind. Actually, you know what? That might be good enough where I can just slide it back in here. So this is one tough thing. I don't have a whole lot of line to work with here. So what I could do is get like a vice grip, but I don't want to do that. Alright, so we got one in. I don't think I have enough line. Technically I could back this out and only have one less right there, because there's two lashings holding on the bow and the stern stems. It's not that big of a deal. It's a lot to get harder to do this with gloves on too. Got it. Alright, so I'm going to try to do some magic here, because I want you to see this. I'm going to try to operate a little bit. Alright, so we're on the second to last loop, and I need this to go through here. Since I don't have a whole lot of line, there we go. Now, I need to get something so that I can effectively pull that tight, because I don't think I can do it with just my fingers. We'll see. I got decent grip strength, but alright, that's coming. Whether it's going to give me enough to work with here. Alrighty. That too, it unraveling doesn't help, but I can put in another like cinch knot here. I'll try. It's going to take more line away from me, but if I successfully get that through there, wow, that was amazing. I did it. Sorry, I know you can't see. There we go. Alright. Now, I gotta put that through one more time and give it 3 twists. And see how that's not coming unraveled? Excellent. That's exactly what I wanted. So, I gotta go through there 3 times. There's 1. 2. Very difficult. Oh, look at that. Got it. 3. Whoop, whoop. Nope, we'll get it. Okay, I'm just gonna hold that there, so dang it. Alright, here we go. Okay, got it. Woo, got it, kinda. Almost. Yes! Haha. Aha. I did it. Okay, well, there you go. That's what that looks like with not enough line. I will have to adjust my keel. It's a little too, or the stem is a little too far over on this side. No big deal. We got it. All right, now we just have to tie our stopper knots now with barely any line. All right. Sorry, I can't really show you this very well because there's a tiny little bit of line. So, pinch that as close to that little cinch knot you got going on there, and just punch it down, push it up, and then bam, we got one knot in. And get that second one right here. There you go. So you're going to try to get that loop right there, this loop, around the knot. I mean, I'm kind of lucky I got real tiny, thin fingers. But I don't want that knot to slip back through. All right, there it is. It's in. Now the trouble with this is I don't have enough line to throw it through one of these holes and then twist it around. So I'm just gonna thread it through that right there. And because I have such short line, I'm gonna come up from the bottom here, and then I'm gonna thread this right through here. Oops, I twisted it too much. Alright. Thread it right through there. Doesn't have to be perfect, just gotta go through that hole. And just pull it right on up, and there you go. Now, that needs to go over a little bit, so we're just gonna ease it over with your thumb. Feel it. That feels perfect. So basically you're either looking for an equal, gosh, sorry, keep kicking the camera, equal amount of overlap on the sides, about equal, and right here. And if you did use adhesive, again, be careful. The stuff that I recommended will not come out of your clothing. Come off your hands with some Gojo or something, but it will not come off your clothing. Alright, let's get this lashing done and call it a day. Come back over on this side, and we're gonna do well, since I was left with such a small amount of line right here, I'm gonna go ahead and just do 2 arms lengths for that. 1, 2. So maybe I was a little short on one of my arms, I don't know, but that should have been enough. I mean, clearly it was, but I would have liked a little more extra. Alright, stopper knot, cut off that tail, and then you're gonna go in 1 hole. Oh, I gotta do this from this side so you guys can see it. Sorry, I forgot about that. In 1 hole. And then you're gonna go in through the other hole. And then you're gonna tie an overhand knot right around here. Okay, we're gonna go over and under overhand knot, granny knot. It's probably the first knot you've ever learned how to tie. And then you just slowly cinch it down. And you just push it into that little hole. When you pull on it, it will pop out. That's fine. And then you feed it right back through the same exact hole it's coming from for one wrap. Again, always up and down, never crisscross. Then you can just pull down. Again, do try to wear the gloves or use your dowel to put tension on your line, because this will cut into your hands. It does hurt, unless you have like absolute He-Man calluses, and yeah, you're probably good. I don't, but I can feel my limits when my skin starts cutting. I guess when it starts cutting into my skin, you'll know it. Alrighty, there you go. I'm just gonna put my gloves on to make sure I'm getting all the tension in there that I need. So I'm gonna use my hands at work too. Alrighty, so we got another wrap there, and then we're gonna go back through here. Wrapping right back through. Again, try to keep them lined up, flat, and overlapping. You don't have like a little big old bump. And then keep it tight, nice and tight. And then we go back through this hole. Swing. Alright, and back through, and this is almost done here. Last wrap around. I'm gonna feed that one through right there. Boop, boop. Again, make sure it's not overlapping anything. And then you can just put downward pressure if you don't want to put sideways pressure, negative pressure on your stem. It also helps to do it this way, just to push down if you've already have everything centered and you're worried about it moving a little bit. So just force it downward. It's a-okay. Alrighty. Got that one in, and we're gonna go around. See, now what I mean by overlap is want an overlap, no overlap on the keel. See how this overlaps right here? That's fine. You don't want it overlapping down here. Just creates a little eyesore bump. If you can keep it from overlapping up here, even better, but not going to be detrimental if you don't. It's just more this down here, so you don't have like a really big bump on your keel. And then pull it down, and actually, to see something right now, I have a little bit of overlap. Oh no, sorry, I got a little bit of overlap myself, so I'm gonna fix that really quick if I can. Looks like I'm gonna have to fix it on this side. Maybe. So I'm just sliding that down in there, and that'll pop it onto the other side of that. I have to use the needle. There we go. Boom. All done. That was easy. Not necessary that you do that. It's not important. We'd rather have a nice strong lashing. But all right. So now we go back through here, and then we are going to tie this off. Cool. So if you need, I didn't need to on that one was fine, but I did have to adjust it. So now put your screwdriver in through here, and then you're going to come and thread this through here. One. Two. Three. At this point, I'm going to take this, wrap it through here once, and then pull. What that'll do is kind of create almost like a friction nut that'll help it not unravel. It's not going to make it lock into place. It will unravel still. It just helps to keep it in place a little bit better. And now, the last one, we're going to wrap it through here 3 times, and then again, preferably use your dowel for this so you don't cut your fingers. Just pull it. Don't pull too tight because you'll cause too much friction and then that will snap. Now you don't need your screwdriver in there anymore. Take that out, and now, oops, you can tie your stopper knot. I'm trying to keep that open. Look at that, figure 8, figure 8. And then just put my gloves off so you guys can see. Pinch it with your fingers right there, and then you just let it slide down. Keep that knot right nice and close to there. Another figure 8 knot. Pinch there. That way it won't tighten on you if you need. And slide that up around the knot. It'll kind of choke it off right there, and then you do the same thing, pinch and pull. You want to keep quite a bit of pressure right there so that it doesn't pop the knot back through. And then you're going to go through one of these holes, doesn't matter, and then you're going to wrap it on the other side. You're going to wrap it around that. And that'll just help lead that knot out of the way. So that knot definitely looks like it might be really easy to get seen. So what I'm going to do is try to increase its hideability by just putting it behind a line on there. And that was easy. It might not be your case here. You might have to spread something out. And then I'm just gonna push it right there. Bam. Look at that. Look at that. Perfect. You technically could hit it with a little bit of heat, but I almost didn't even want to tell you that, because that could be really bad. You could just melt through your lashing or something, and you'll have to redo it. So proceed with caution if you do decide to do something like that. It might not be in your favor, but if you do decide to hit it with some heat, just be careful. Hit it quickly and then tap it down as best as you can. Basically, you're just trying to flatten it. But again, be very careful. This cord, once you get through that wax layer, very highly susceptible to melting at high heats. Alrighty, there we go. And then you just cut off. Ching. Look, I got still quite a bit of line. I don't know if you saw that, but. And we're done. Yay! So this is what it'll look like on the other side that you didn't cinch off. Okay. And then I just wrapped it around right up there to hide the knot. Coolio.